Hey, what's up, class? My name's Sean. I'm from Holly Springs, North Carolina, and today I'm going to talk to you about synthesizers. The synthesizer I'm going to be using for this tutorial is called Massive, and it's one of my favorite synthesizers, and it's relatively easy to use once you start getting the hang of what all of this stuff means. Now, what a synthesizer does is it produces a waveform that can be played out of your DAW through MIDI notes and moves your speaker back and forth based on what waveform you're working with. Now, you can, in Massive, select a ton of different waveforms in the oscillator section, which is represented here. And you're going to have 3 oscillators. So if I click a waveform, I can select from so many different wave files. I don't even know what they all are. But you have your basic ones like your square, your saw, your sine wave, your triangle wave. And a cool thing about Massive is that you can select a mixture in between the two. So if it's all the way over here, it's a square. If it's all the way over here, if it's a saw. And if it's in the middle or anywhere in here, it's kind of a mixture between the two. And you can do this for any of the waveforms that you have, so you can get some really unique sounds. Now the next important thing is the filter. And what the filter does is, like in an EQ, you can have a low pass, a high pass, a band reject, and you can get rid of unwanted frequencies. Another important thing you can do with a filter is modulate it by an envelope or an LFO. And this sounds really cool when you use effects like Scream and have the resonance way up, because the resonance will really point out that cutoff range and maybe have a cool effect on your sound. So if you set an LFO to the cutoff or an envelope to the cutoff, what those two are going to do is modulate your sound over time. So what an envelope is doing is controlling the attack, decay, sustain, and release. So by default, your amplitude is set up to envelope 4. So when I play a note, the attack is going to go up at this rate and start to play volume of whatever waveform I'm producing. The next thing it's going to do is start to decay at the rate to whatever I set the sustain level at. And then once I release the note, it will release and diminish in amplitude at whatever release rate I set it to. And you can set an envelope to any parameter on here. You could set it to your pitch. You could set it to your filter. Another thing you can set to any parameter is your LFO. And what an LFO is a wave modulating whatever you're working with. So for example, I could set it to a sine wave and modulate my cutoff, and what it would look like as I play the note is that this cutoff would be moving kind of like this at a rate in a sine wave type of motion. And if I set it to like a square wave, it would kind of snap. Like, I can't do it because I can't get it to snap, but you can kind of see what it would look like. The top point would be here and the bottom point would be here. That kind of wraps up synthesizers. It's a big topic, and the best way to learn is to experiment for yourself and go through a ton of different sounds and see what sounds cool, and messing with resonances and cutoffs and modulating them over time. You can really get some cool sounds. So I hope I taught you the basics, and I hope you go experiment